Yo guys, what's going on? It's Zorb here, bringing you guys a little commentary on the map Meltdown with the foul, but this isn't about the gameplay at all. This is my new series, which is going to be like a story series where I just tell some stories, and this is just to spice up my channel a little bit, because most commentaries can be kind of a little bit boring and bland, just talking about the gameplay or some random stuff. So two of my story series, it's going to be What If, and then this is the story series where I'll like kind of tell some stories, some interesting stories that I have. So let's jump into it. So the first story I have for today is actually about my first dirt bike crash. This was actually about like when I was 9 years old. I don't really remember, but this took place in like kind of like not mid, but like mid area of California at this place called Carnegie, where I go dirt biking and a lot, but I haven't been dirt biking in about a year or so, which is really unfortunate. I've just been too busy and stuff. So anyways, in Carnegie there's like 3 different tracks. There's a circle track that's kind of like for beginners. It has like 2 jumps, and they're kind of just little tabletops that are like 10 feet. The gap's only like 10 feet, and it's like a tabletop, so there's no way you can really crash, and you don't even have to jump it. And so it's just like a circle track, and there's like a little hill on it too. It's pretty easy track, and that's kind of what I was doing. And then inside of the little circle, like little oval, there's like little jumps and stuff inside of it, so you can do stuff like inside of it too. So we were at Carnegie for the day, and I think it was right before lunch, and I was on the mini track, or the circle track I would call it, and I was in the middle of it just riding around, and my dad was like, because there's a big fence area around the whole entire thing, and I was on the middle part of the track, and I'm having a good time just like riding around, and I was pretty good for my age. Like I was 9 years old, and like my dad, like he used to race motorcycles professionally, because he always hated how, like, if those of you guys who play sports, like 'cause for me, like I'm totally gonna go off topic here, but it's kind of like it ties into the story. But like if you guys play sports, like say you get cut from a team, and then you realize like, hey, I'm a lot better than this one kid who made the team. That guy probably like had his dad like pay the coach off to get on the team and stuff like that. Well, that's called politics, and like it doesn't really relate to politics, but that's just kind of what it's called. So my dad, he always had this this sort of thing, because he kind of grew up in a place where it wasn't very nice, and he always, like, one time he got cut from like the baseball team or something like that, and he was kind of like, yeah, I'm just done with this. I'm done with people like paying their way on teams and all the bullshit and stuff of how we have to rely on other players. So he's like, I'm gonna do a sport that gets me only me, and I can only rely on myself for when I do bad and for when I do good. So he got into racing dirt bikes professionally, and he was actually really good. He always told me like there was one guy that had like a really nice bike and had like all this fancy stuff when he didn't have a very nice bike and all this stuff, and he'd always win and stuff, but he didn't really care. But my dad did race professionally back in the day. He raced through high school and a little bit through college, so he's really good, and like he taught me everything. So back to the story. He was kind of just outside this little fence thing, and he taught me everything. Like my dad recently, or not recently, but when I was younger, he taught me like so I wouldn't be scared. Like he put me on a bike, and then he just pushed me over, and he goes, see, it doesn't hurt to crash. So that's pretty much what I learned. So I don't really have any fears on bikes, dirt bikes, or anything. I'll jump anything you ask me to, unless it's like jumping over a canal that's like 200 feet. Like I'm not gonna do that. But I don't really have any fears, because I know, well, I don't know, but most likely I will be okay, and I'm okay with breaking a couple bones. It's not too bad. But not to sound like a tool or anything. Back into the story. So I was in the middle of the track, and I decided that I wanted to get off the track and like go on the medium-sized track. And the medium-sized track was like a little bit more complex, had a couple more jumps, some gap jumps, not just tabletops, and it was kind of like, it kind of went down, like it dipped down up this hill, and it was a nice track. And so I wanted to go over there. So for me to get over there, I had to go through the like racing part, the circle part of the track, and then go outside the gate to the next track. So with me being stupid and a 9-year-old having no idea, I thought it was clear, so I just go from the middle of the track and just go vroom and just go right to right where the people are coming around. So if you just imagine this, I'm going straight, and there's people coming from the right side of me, so I go straight and I go right across the oval part of the track, and this other kid just comes like 30 miles an hour, just straight T-bones me, and we both like fly off our bikes and stuff. And I was a pretty tough kid back then. I still am a pretty tough kid, I guess you could say, and I wasn't even really that hurt. I got a couple scratches and whatnot, because you do wear a lot of gear when you're riding dirt bikes. The other kid was crying and stuff. Like, I think he might have been like the same age as me, maybe a little bit older. And like, my dad made me go say sorry and all this stuff, and he was kind of mad at me, because my dad gets mad at me for a lot of things, like baseball and everything. So he got mad at me, and he's like, "What are you doing?" But then again, I was 9 years old, so what is there? You can't really blame me. I didn't really know what I was doing. I was just wanted to get off the track and go on the other one, because that one was kind of boring. So, you know, that's just the story. Some kid T-boned me, or you could say it was my fault, because I was going in front of the track where I wasn't really supposed to be. I suppose I should have waited for it to be clear, but I didn't. So anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed this first episode of my story series. This is the first episode of like one of my dirt bike crashes. I have a ton of crashes that are pretty interesting, and I have a lot of other cool stories too with like friends and whatnot. So I think this is going to be a pretty good story series. This is not about the gameplay, guys. I'm not going to waste my time trying to get like a triple nuclear for you guys for this series. I'm just going to put on random gameplay. I'm not going to put on like 1 in 25. I'll put on like something half decently good, kind of like this, I guess you could say. But this one I just picked a game out of my recent game, so I don't know. Anyways, guys, I hope you guys did enjoy this series. I shoot for 15 likes. YouTube's been kind of messed up lately, so I've been only getting like 10 and whatnot, but whatever, it's all good. As long as you guys support my videos, I'm fine with that. So anyways, guys, peace.